Hello, I'm James Wells, Education Manager at Crayola. We're excited to share this series, Creative Spa for Teachers, with everyone who educates children. This is a special time and place where you can rejuvenate, refresh, and rekindle your creative spirit. While you are enjoying energizing creative experiences, you will also receive great tips on how to bring mindful experiences to your children. I am thrilled to introduce today's guest, Sarah Harrison, an artist who practices the art of Zentangle and Zendoodle. Welcome, Sarah.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be with you.
This art practice has been around for nearly 20 years, and it involves repetition of lines, shapes, and patterns. As a former art teacher, I use this method when instructing my own students, and they loved it. Can you talk about why this art method appeals to people and some of the benefits that you even have experienced?
I was instantly hooked because I was always a doodler, I was always a drawer, but this gave me the freedom to create patterns which always fascinated me. I was able to get lost in what I was doing, and the best thing about I found personally for Zentangles was the next step was already told. It was already directed. I didn't have to sit there and think of what came next. It was all basic there, black and white. And then over the years, then I chose to adapt into what I have today.
I too agree with you in terms of it being a very approachable art form, and the patterns just draw you in. And the idea of knowing what's next is certainly a benefit and helps to ease some of the anxiety that often comes with drawing. So thank you for sharing that. So as artists, you and I, we find ways to bring our ideas and unique approach to our work. Your designs stand out from traditional Zentangles. Could you share what traditional Zentangles often look like and how you made this art form your own as you have become a Zendoodler?
Traditional Zentangle is in black and white, normally on tiles. There are several tiles now. There's even more out. You've got the 3Z little triangle ones, but yeah, traditionally in black and white. This is a 9x9 tile. Do sometimes do traditional. That's actually a pattern I came up with called Distracted. But yeah, that's the traditional side of Zentangle, black, white, and small. And traditionally it's done with pen only and pen first. So I actually start a lot of my stuff in pencil first. I do tend to look out on new published patterns and sort of see what I can do to change them, but not change them as much as the original. The person who actually made the pattern doesn't look at it and go, that's my pattern. So I like to change them, but still have it as much as I can, especially when it comes to my characters, which that's an example. Joki Tangle, which is this here. So I sort of gave him a a bit of an upgrade in his little house and his little snail. But that's what I'm concentrating on a lot recently, is drawing little sets of characters from Zentangle patterns. And the biggest thing, I suppose, for me is playing with colour, the rainbow, and scale. I like the idea of the mixing of the small with the big, and currently working on one very large piece. So we'll keep you updated and see how that goes.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh, thank you for showing the differences between the two approaches. Seeing that really makes me want to lean into this question. Where do you draw your inspiration for this unique approach of pulling in colors and patterns?
A lot of my inspiration actually comes from scrolling pictures that other people have done, and my saved is just full of, and it might be really random stuff. It even might be not even a picture of that somebody's drawn. It might be a picture somebody's taken. It might be just of an object, and I see a swirl that I like, and then I'll incorporate it into my next work because I've got a thing for swirls and circles and sort of stuff like that. So I try and mix and match. Sometimes one picture might have 5 or 6 different things that I've taken from other things that I've seen and then put it all into one picture, especially when it comes to scale.
Now, you've touched briefly on your approach with using a pencil. What advice do you have for viewers just starting out that may feel or may not feel confident making this unerasable mark?
That's probably where I sway a lot from traditional Zentangle. It is, I do what makes myself comfortable. And yes, I do. I mean, all those tiles I showed you earlier, I did those with pen. If I pick up the pen to go and do it on a big piece and I'm designing something and I'll go, yeah, I can do that, and then I'll end up making a mistake, and I couldn't deal with the stress of it and the need to have to start again. So I adapted it to me. And so my advice to anybody, if you don't feel comfortable with doing it with a pen to start with, do it with a pencil. I mean, it's not like you're breaking the law or anything like that. Literally do what makes you comfortable, never mind about everybody else.
Such great advice. Yes, do what makes you comfortable. I think as you build confidence, you're then able to go directly or start with the pen, but start with the pencil, and then you can layer the pen over top. And a great reminder that perfection is not a requirement for creating. So now we're eager to get started with this Zentangle art. You shared with us how traditional Zentangle tends to be done in structured black and white patterns, but you flip it on its head, creating bold, colorful, and fun tangles that dance across the page. Could you show us how you create the Zentangle pattern verve, then make it your own?
I've got these little cards which I've pre-cut out because they're nice little squares for me when I do my references. Use a bigger one so it can be seen. So I will draw around, and then the tangle I'm using is verve. So verve starts with a circle, and then we're going to go up, and then we're going to go down. Now, this is obviously the traditional verve tangle, and all I'm going to do is aura in each side using those two lines as my start, and then that side. So that is the traditional tangle verve. And when I looked at this tangle originally, it was like I had to go a bit mad. So I'm going to firstly rainbow it up. And please, if you want to try and pencil, that's absolutely fine. I've done this probably 100 times, so I feel okay with going straight to pen. Like I said, not all my work I go straight to pen, but this one I feel confident enough to be able to do it straight away for you in pen. So I'm going to take that pattern, make it my own. So we are going to start with a circle because we don't want to sway too much from the pattern so nobody knows actually what pattern it originally started as. I'm going to do more of a 3D effect. It's not going to be as flat as that one. So I'm going to start with the up and the down, and then I'm going to link them together into like a little bubble on the end. And it doesn't matter that they're not perfect, because once it's all together, it'll look really cool. So obviously traditionally with the rainbow, but this one I'm going to go through that one and back out the other side. And we're going to have a little gap. And then the same with this one, but this one I'm going to stick more to its red and then onto the yellow. I might have this one behaving itself a bit more. So that one will go there. And then to change it up, we'll have this one popping through there because it can. And that's one of my favorite things, because I can. And then green. And then green on that side. We're going to make that one a bit smaller than everything else so we can do a bit more of an effect with the blue then. The blue will completely go a bit mad. And we'll link that one into there. And then purple. That one. And then it'll stop there. I don't like the way that the gap there, so I'm going to carry on with colour just till, and this is all about you. You might like that look, but for me, I like to have a bit of chunkiness around the centre. So I'm going to add just until I'm happy that we've got that chunkiness. And there we go, a bit more wild.
Amazing. Thanks, Sarah, for that great demo. This simple pattern came alive with color, creating great movement and flow throughout the design. I love your guidance in showing us that we aren't restricted to the patterns or the border that we see in a traditional Zentangle practice. We can strip and shift the pattern by bringing in our own ideas. So now, Sarah, in addition to adding color and breaking apart patterns to give them new life, you also often create your own original patterns, sometimes without lines. Could you show us how to create colorful zendoodles without those lines?
I am going to do my pattern called Hugs today. Hugs has turned out to be very, very popular throughout the Zentangle, and not just the Zentangle community, the art community. There's lots of people that have done very, very wild things. I'm going to use one of the erasable coloured pencils. This will give you the confidence. You could just do this with a normal pencil, and it's a lot easier for you to see as well, and it's bright and colourful. So I'm going to start with my little box just to give me a bit of a border for Hugs. I'm going to find roughly the centre, and I'm going to arc out to each corner. Hugs can be done in anything, a triangle, a circle. It's literally endless different ways you can fit Hugs into anything. So there we've got what would be pencil lines, and I'm going to draw Hugs into that square like that, and there we have Hugs. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do it as negative space. So in all the gaps, I'm going to colour, just making sure I don't touch that that coloured pencil line. So we're going to have a multicoloured Hugs, I think. It is very fun playing with these markers because traditionally I use watercolours. So it's very different, but it's very fun, and the colours are so bright, which goes with my rainbow theme 100%. So that's 3. And that's 4. Again, just trying to keep in, not touching the purple, because afterwards we're going to get rid of it. So let's have a different colour. Why not? Because I can. And remember, that's what this is all about. I've actually got a little thing of words on my wall, and because I can is one of the ones that I've written down, so I always remember to do what I want to do because I can. Play and make it your own. How vibrant. Obviously, you have to go in for yellow next. Yeah, this tangle was named Hugs because it actually came to me about 1:30 in the morning one night while I was sitting here drawing, and I thought it looked like a giant pillow. So that's why it had the name Hugs. Sometimes patterns just come to you, but Hugs is definitely, I think, by far the most popular. Oh, I missed that one. And then we'll do blue. That one's like a little triangle. Like that. There we go. That looks kind of cool. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? We're going to take away my coloured pencil lines, trying to be careful because the ink's still a little bit wet. And then between each, I've never done a multicoloured hugs before, so I think I'm going to have to do lots more now because I really like the look of that. I do like playing with negative space. For you, you might, like I did with Verve, went a bit mad. There's nothing stopping anybody doing exactly the same with hugs. Let it go a bit mad. Do what you like, adapt it to what you want it to be rather than what it is actually meant to be, and have fun. And that's the complete point of it. It doesn't matter as long as you like it. It doesn't matter. And the more and more you practice, the more and more you'll find stuff you like, stuff you don't like doing. Practice makes progress because there's no such thing as perfection. There's the pencils erased. We have a negative space hugs.
Whoa, Sarah, that is beautiful. Oh my gosh. And I love that you gave the background of hugs. Seeing it come together, it reminded me of a pillow or some soft, cuddly pillow that's hugging you tight. And I feel so relaxed. I love your mantra, because you can. Thank you for sharing your personal style of zendoodle patterns and the way you've used negative space to create the illusion of lines without the design. What a creative take on this traditional process. Thank you for sharing. While viewers are busy finishing up their Zentangle or Zendoodle art, I have a special message for teachers and parents. Keep learning fun and colorful by signing up to receive the Crayola Education free monthly e-newsletters. You'll get updates on all of our free learning programs delivered right to your email box. Sarah, you have so many incredible ideas to share. How can our viewers follow you and see more of your colorful Zentangle and Zendoodle art?
On my Instagram page is where I share it all. That's filets, jeunesse, all tangled up. But if you just type in all tangled up, I will come up as well for the people that don't know Guernsey French.
Awesome. And after this session, you will have plenty of time to finish your Zentangle art. Please share photos of them in the comment section of this video. We look forward to seeing what you create and how you'll bring these ideas to your children. Sarah, I feel so refreshed from these two exercises, and I'm eager to start creating my own tangles. What closing remarks or last bit of advice do you want to share with participants as they continue to experiment with this art style?
Take your time. I mean, there's no rush. I mean, when I first started, I actually limited myself to 10 tangles, and I filled endless books with just these 10 tangles and different ways to do them, different ways to play with them, make them different. That's the biggest thing I'd say to anybody, is just make it your own. Take your time. Don't feel you have to compete with anybody else. It's do what you want to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that advice. Sarah, we want to thank you for inspiring us today, and we want to thank all of you for joining us. Take care of yourself creatively, feel the appreciation and gratitude, embrace healthy patterns, and repeat.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.